5. New box. Just threw it up on Vagrant not too long ago. We're going to go ahead and test it out. And this is also a test to make sure everything's working good with it. Go ahead and CD that back. Do I have like a my directory? Made the directory somewhere else at one point. Okay. Go ahead and I think it actually is .48, is it? Not looking like it. Nmap SN. And we have it right here. We'll go ahead and start off with the Rust scan. .50. We'll see there's a few ports up. And this is more or less going to be like with you guys and with me over here. So you guys go ahead and kind of spit out what you think to do next. Whoopsie daisy, I put a space in there. I'll say, what do you mean failed to resolve? There we go. Okay, so nothing really in here. We do have the NFS up and running. We try that. Okay, we have a mount NFS dir, so we try a sudo mount. Now let's go ahead and make directory temp. We try to mount something into there. See what we get. Alright, could not connect to it. So it's not able to connect to that. So we're having problems connecting to that, like right there. Do have a default Apache page. Try Fearox Buster on that, like right there. There's absolutely nothing in there. Okay. And we're kind of running out of stuff here. But this next product right here, I've seen this in real life on Cisco routers. All right. Let's try to SSH. We'll say A at the IP address. I have seen credentials whenever you put in the, whenever you put in the password wrong so many times or anything like that. I've seen that in real life where credentials will drop. Okay, on Cisco routers during field ops, things like that. And then we have to go yell at everybody. So this one dropped some type of credentials here. So we can go ahead and SSH in as my Pi, hopefully. And Raspberry as the password. I wonder if we could also do an enum for Linux. I don't think I actually had SSH even up and running on this thing. Or not SSH, but SMB. We do not. So, could always try something like this if we really want to. Yep, that's kind of what I thought. So, yep, in the SSH banner, I've actually seen that on Cisco routers before. Or they'll have like, if you forgot your password, come see this person. And now we have like, that person and we can start to break down, at least we have one person and try to start to figure out who they're with and things like that. So, or you see that person and a lot of times one guy will be working at a Cisco router and he'll make everyone's username and password and it'll just be like change me 123 as the password. And so everyone's supposed to go in and do their little, their actual password. And no one ever does. So you just have 10 users with the password change me on there. So it'll say it like, they'll have like a message of the day or something like that on the AAA banner. And it'll say something like, a password, default passwords change me. So now what we got to start to do is just figure out their names. And usually just using their last names and stuff. So I've seen that on actual Cisco routers before that were actually being utilized during, what you guys would call production, whatever. All right. So we're in here now. Let's go ahead and do a sudo -l Raspberry. And he cannot run sudo. Okay, let's go ahead and cat the SUID bits. And doesn't look like there's anything in here, right? So let's go ahead and what would be next? Next would be, we could always do limp peas, or we could just cat Etsy cron tab. And we do actually have something in here. One thing to note, it's not always at the bottom. There you go. Okay? That's something that people seem to forget about. You can put it wherever you want. But most, boot root machines, they do that. Groups kind of suck. But yeah, groups, that's a good one, Thed. Alright, but it doesn't have to be at the bottom. So, looks like he's running bash opt backup check.back.sh. One thing we also never did was we never actually went into MyPi's home directory. And he doesn't have one. There's a Pi, so let's go ahead and cd into Pi. Okay, cd to desktop, because that's mostly, like where you can put stuff. No SUID and GTFO bins for groups? What do you mean? Oh no, I was just seeing what to check next. That's all. We could always check out capabilities. I don't know if ping is a capability. I would highly doubt it. Or else every machine would be messed up. Yep. Okay. So, but we do have that cron tab, scene directory or desktop, and we do have a backup.sh. Now remember that cat Etsy cron tab had it in opt backup check.back.sh. Let's go ahead and cat that backup.sh, and it looks like it's just pinging localhost, right? So it looks like we're just looking at localhost here. All right, we're just pinging it. So let's go ahead and cd into opt backup. And we have our check back.sh, which we can't overwrite any of these right there at that. So let's go ahead and cat that guy. All right. So here is the bash file, like right here. Does anybody know what this is doing? So it's going to run bash opt backup.sh, rev.sh, right? It's going to run that, which we can cat that guy. And all that's doing is just changing mode to home pi desktop crez.txt for some reason. And this one, like right here, he's running that. So can anyone tell me what we can do with this script, like right here? If you want me to unhighlight it, let me know if that's like messing with your eyes. What we can do with this script to make it run script rev.sh, which then will look like, it looks like we're going to be changing the mode. Well, we don't have that file like right there though, so I don't know why the hell it's changing that mode. Which it shouldn't actually say that like right there. That should be caret. So this one may be messed up. May have to fix that. There we go. See, that's why I'm testing it. Well, in what file though? It's not actually, it's just doing lstech.la on here. Can anyone tell me what this means right here? So let's do if the file is missing. Good. All right. So if we run this command, right, we get an output. Now, if we run this command like right here, which is an exit check, we get a 0. Okay. If we run this command and then we run that again, we get anything but 0. So a command that does not exist will not equal 0. A command that does exist will equal 0. So that means that if this backup.sh file does not exist, we will technically not get a 0. So let's go ahead and cd into /home pi desktop, and let's go ahead and remove, or we can just move it, actually move backup.sh to backup.1.sh. I didn't read that was you at first. I was like, oh, what the fuck? That's all. Alright, so what we did was we just renamed it, right? Backup1.sh. Now, I messed it up. So if I CD back into op backups, what should happen, it's supposed to run this, right? Which it probably is. But I messed up this file like right here. Nope, I did not. Never mind. Okay, so now what it looks like it's going to do is it is going to copy from home care desktop cres.txt to there B7H30. Good. Don't watch it because this is what you're going to be doing next week. So if I do a /home pi desktop, after so long, or I could just run it, right? I just do a bash opt because I could run it, and we can do that checkback.sh. We can run it, right? We're not allowed to put anything to opt test.txt, right? Oh, well, maybe we can't run it. That should be running every minute, though, according to Etsy cron tab, right? According to here, that should be running every minute. Fuck, I didn't run his route. Okay, cool. So, there is a problem with it. That's okay. Let's go ahead and go into root like real quick. So that's why I tested it like right now before B7H30 does it. Alright, let's go into root. Nano Etsy cron tab. And it's not running as root like right now, so that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. There, now it's running as root. So, I'm going to have to reload this one up there. That's okay. So this should technically all of a sudden work. Okay. And there we go. So we get back to our cres.txt. So B7H30, funny story about MySpace, right? This obviously, you know, you were younger, I was younger when it came out, but it was the coolest thing, you know. And if you youngins don't know what MySpace is, literally what's funny is the platforms are starting to change over back into MySpace. That's the funny part. I remember seeing someone saying on like Twitter, some of that, like we should be able to put songs on there, you know, and that'll like we should be able to put songs on our profile, like, oh, so MySpace, you know. But they're literally migrating back to MySpace. I think that's hilarious. It's just like the whole concept of like the cloud and everything like that, like how stuff was at first it was like that, then it got rid of it, then it started becoming again. It's funny, but it like you could run code on MySpace to have like your pictures change, you can have your background change, put music on there and everything, but you could run whatever the hell code you wanted. So I remember I actually had a code on mine that every single time someone logged in, I sent friend requests to all the friends that they had. So in like a freaking like 2 days, you know, anyone that looked at my account, I sent friend requests to their friends, and then they would look at my account and they would go for friend requests to their friends. In like 2 days, I had like fucking 200,000 friends. I was like, what has happened, right? And I'm just this little kid like that, just punching keys on a keyboard. But I got another story about that. This is when I was even younger. I was real young, right? So my dad, I lived in New York. My dad, he moved to Colorado, okay? And so we would call him, but since we were poor, we couldn't just call all the time, right? So we'd have to, you know, if it was going to be a collect call, collect call back then. All right, so if it was a collect call, we had to obviously ask mom, right? And then someone had to pay for it, either my mom or dad, right? So whenever that happened, there was a whistle. You guys may have heard about this one, but I didn't know if what I was doing was illegal. I'm pretty sure I'm in that space now after, you know, being me going to jail for it. But after you would call, there was a whistle. Well, back then, you know, cereal boxes came with actual frickin' toys, right? So not the crap they come with nowadays, like a sticker. They actually came with toys. So one of the toys we had was a whistle. I remember from Captain Crunch. And my brother and I realized that that whistle sounded really familiar. So I went to call my dad at one time, and I blew the whistle into the phone. And the little automated crap that listens for whatever, it actually listened for that whistle. That whistle stated that you paid. So if you just blew the whistle in the phone, lo and behold, you could call anywhere in the world pretty much toll free. Yeah, I was like 6 years old doing phone freaking. And no idea I'm doing that. I'm calling my uncles. I'm calling everybody. So it was pretty funny. VAMs, just so you know, for real, I've had Active Directory, and I've had Active Directory with like a couple boxes right now. I've had a Windows pivoting room, and I've only had like 16 gigs of RAM to do that. On my desktop I had 32, but I've done that on my laptop before with 16 gigs of RAM, one CPU core going to each one. The biggest thing is just to start it up one at a time. That's the biggest thing. But we deleted that one file. We removed it, right? Once we moved it, since that file does not exist anymore, our exit code is not going to be 0, right? Since that exit code is not 0 anymore, it'll now send creds.txt to you because that is what the file said to do, right? That's what it called for another file. It called for this file like right here, and since it was not a 0 anymore, because this file backup.sh did not exist, so the exit code was above a 0, it now ran this script like right here, which says to copy the desktop creds.txt to me, and then go ahead and change mode 777 so I can read it. So cat creds.txt, and now I have carrots login. So if I do su into caret, with that password. Oh my god, did I never actually change it? Let me see something real quick. See, this is why I'm testing it. Okay, that's really weird. There we go. Okay. I probably just didn't Control-Shift-V correctly. We're now caret. All right, cool. What can we do is caret? Sudo tech L. All right, we can do an all bin copy. All right. Let's go ahead and cat. So first thing I want to do actually, because I know root's password and we really just changed one thing on here. So we're going to reuse this guy, right? So let me go ahead and do a sudo or a SSH into root at that IP address. Because I want to copy it first before I just totally smoke check it. Because I actually know root's password, obviously. Maybe I don't. Okay, why don't I know root's password anymore? Thought I did. Huh. Sorry, I forgot root's password on here. Am I in capital letters like right now? No, I'm not. That's pretty funny. I forgot root's password. So, okay, that's okay still. We can still fix this without that. Let's go ahead and cat etsy sudoers. Because I want to take this whole thing because I really don't feel like remaking it again. We're going to then do a nano etsy or sudoers. And we will from here put that in there. All right, so we have this copy, right? So we can pretty much do the same exact thing we just did, okay, with copy. If you look at copy, right, and we have the sudo command for, right, we can run lfile, make temp, echo data, right? So what we can pretty much do is we can make a new user, or we can just do a all again for copy, right? We just say that thing, right? So let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's go ahead and do a lfile equals etsy sudoers. We're going to go ahead and do this guy right here. Okay, from here, we're going to echo some data into there. So we're going to echo some data into there, right? And our data is going to be caret all equals all. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead lastly and run sudo copy tf file. So we're going to do a /u/bin sudo/bin copy sudo tech-l. We should have all right sudo su. And now I can go ahead and change my password again. Password incorrect. Password incorrect. Your new password cannot be the same as your old. What the fuck? You know? Isn't that right? All right, cool. So we did that now, right? So let's go ahead and actually nano etsy sudo words again. Of course you can't. So let's just go ahead and cat sudo words, and we're just gonna throw this into there. We're just gonna echo this guy straight in there. Echo into etsy sudoers, cat etsy sudoers, and this should have gone back to what it was before. Yeah, that should be fine, right? Yeah, that should be good enough. All right, cool. So that is the one that B7H30 is going to be doing next week. Obviously, the fixed version of it. Because what I have to fix? I have to fix that. You guys know what it's called. The cron tab, right? So if I cat that's the cron tab again, it should be good to go now. All right. So let's go ahead and let's hop over to my main